on that note, there seems to be a disillusionment among the youth today regarding the opportunities, the facilities that they are getting within the country. Right now, we are seeing a trend of outward migration of youth in large numbers, especially in Kerala. So, how do you think the education that the prospective education that they are seeking outside compares with what we have in the best universities in India?
Well, the answer is clearly evident in the fact that if you take the list of the 200 best universities and colleges in the world, none of our institutions actually figures in that. None of our universities figures in that. So obviously there is a chasm between global educational standards and national educational standards. It cannot be denied. It is there. Are we in a position to bridge that gulf? Yes, provided we take education very seriously. Now, the trend everywhere in this country, unfortunately, and I have to mention this, the political trend everywhere in this country, both at the center and in the states, is to belittle education. Who are the people appointed as education ministers, both at the center and in various state governments? People who have absolutely no interest in education, much less any proven track record in education, people who have made no contribution whatsoever, or people who have never shown any interest in education. Now, such people are called upon to handle the most important portfolio. I remember writing an article some years ago saying that none less than the Prime Minister of this country should be in charge of the education portfolio. Because that by itself, even if the Prime Minister is not a person of proven track record in education, the very fact that the Prime Minister is handling the portfolio sends a positive message to all the stakeholders in education, and they would take it, likely that they would take it a little more seriously, and funding also will increase accordingly. Now take this other criterion. The Kothari Commission report of 1966, if I remember right, 64-66, recommended that the budgetary outlay for education must not be less than 6% of the GDP. 6% of the GDP. Even today, it is less than 1%. 2%. You can imagine. So that is clearly indicative of the lack of political will and commitment to promoting education. And there is a reason for it, even though this is not the central issue here. I have to mention this. I would say that there is a political will not to educate. The reason is we are not able to enlarge employment opportunities. So if you create a large number of educated youth who cannot be given employment, you're actually creating great social unrest.
Yeah.
Therefore, though this is not openly said, and perhaps the time has come for us to say this, there is very serious misgiving about broad-basing opportunities for higher education, particularly quality education. The other factor here is that the rich, the economic, social, political elite in this country can afford to send their children to the best and most expensive educational universities, institutions anywhere in the world. So it is not a priority for them to improve quality of education, higher education in this country. But anyway, I think the realization is gradually growing everywhere that unless and until we address this issue of improving quality of education as well as access to quality of education, India will remain backward. For all the patriotism and hype that we create, there will be nothing to show for it. So this realization is growing, and I would want to believe that the introduction of CUET, etc., and the various experiments that are supposed to be undertaken in the near future all have a bearing on this, in which case I would hail it with great enthusiasm.
Okay.